What is up guys, Deadset here. Today we'll talk about the combined power of the Immortal King and Wrath of the Waste sets, propelling the Barbarian into the endgame. Check it out. This build starts runs with an activation of Call of the Ancients and Wrath of the Berserker. Both skills are to be kept up throughout the Rift, using the Immortal King set bonus. While Wrath of the Berserker needs to be cast on cooldown, only resummon Call of the Ancients when one or more of them fall in battle. Whrilwind constantly in and out of combat, keeping your Taeguk stacks capped and Dust Devil sticking for massive damage. Only apply Rend to enemies in the least threatening moments. This will reset your cooldowns, but make sure you do not endanger yourself in the brief moments of casting time weakness. Keep the Battle Rage buff active at all times, and protect yourself with Warcry as often as you can. This is the build used in the demonstration. Whrilwind is both the primary damage dealer and the mobility tool for this classic Barbarian build. The Wrath of the Waste set grants you the Dust Devil's rune for free through the 6-piece bonus and amplifies its damage to 2500%, skyrocketing the damage potential of this otherwise unassuming spender. Allowing for unparalleled fluidity during runs by ignoring enemy collision, this low-cost skill also increases your survivability through the healing Blood Funnel rune, the Waste's 4-piece bonus, and by constantly stacking the armor bonus from your Taeguk gem. The second and significantly less impactful spender of the build is Rend. While its percentage is increased by the Waste's 2-piece bonus, its overall impact will be less than a tenth in your total damage. Nevertheless, it is the most reliable spender used to reduce your cooldowns through the Immortal King set bonus, bringing decent damage of its own and has several viable runes. The most common choice, Bloodbath, is elementally synergistic with your gear and will proc your Pain Enhancer, whose attack speed increase will bring additional value to the attack speed dependent Whrilwind. The Cold Rune Mutilate brings a 10% increase in damage taken for affected enemies, and more importantly, high uptime of the Bane of the Trap buff. The hardcore-oriented Bloodlust rune brings decent healing in densely packed fights. Whichever rune you choose, keep the casting time of Rend in mind. It forces you to momentarily lose the 40% damage reduction from Whirlwinding, so pick your casting times carefully. As previously mentioned, the reworked Immortal King set brings a powerful bonus by rendering two of the longest Barbarian cooldowns virtually permanent, Call of the Ancients and Wrath of the Berserker. Removing the timed limit of Call of the Ancients, the 2-piece bonus of IK keeps the powerful trio of warriors permanently at your side. While they certainly can fall in battle, you should be able to promptly resummon them as their cooldown is reset by the 4-piece IK set bonus. In fact, never neglect to do so, as the Ancient's Fury rune will be the basis of your Fury management, and the loss of even a single summon will be a crippling blow to resource generation. The signature Barbarian steroid, Wrath of the Berserker, is strengthened further by the damage rune Insanity. Using the 4-piece IK bonus, you should be able to harness the potential of this skill permanently and boost your crit chance, attack speed, dodge chance and movement speed by significant percentages. There are two additional buffs added to the build, the damage-oriented Battle Rage and the toughness-related Warcry. Battle Rage is a staple buff of the Barbarian, which boosts your damage directly along with your crit chance. While it doesn't count as a resource-spending attack for the purposes of IK set cooldown reduction, it can be spammed to trigger life per fury spent on gear, and should be otherwise kept active at all times. Two runes are worthy of consideration. Bloodshed, which can be used to your advantage in densely populated areas, bringing a lot of additional AoE damage and a faster clear time, and Swords to Plowshares, whose health globe spawning utility can bring survivability and more value from Reaper's Wraps. Warcry is a 2-in-1 utility skill that brings extra toughness with the Impunity rune. The 60-second duration of the toughness buff long exceeds the decent 20-second cooldown, which you will often be incentivized to reapply prematurely for its Fury generation aspect. A well-timed Warcry will often be the difference between keeping your Taeguk stacks running from battle to battle and having them fall off. This concludes the overview of the active skills. Now let us look through the passives. Like a medieval lawnmower that's both armed and agile, the Whrilwind Barbarian uses the Rampage passive to great efficiency, with the potential to stack up to 25% additional strength, increasing your DPS and toughness substantially. It is important to learn to keep this passive up. Always being on the move towards bigger fights, where killing minor enemies will feed your stacks, is crucial. Peaking Berserker Rage as our second passive takes advantage of the potent Fury generation from Ancient's Fury and Warcry. With only Rend as a significant spender of Fury, and certainly not one you should spam, you will enjoy the significant uptime of this strong amplification passive. A survival-oriented alternative is found in Superstition, whose powerful mitigation and resource gain can be helpful if you find yourself lacking in toughness. Completing the triad of amplifiers, Ruthless makes a tight fit, and edges over Brawler for one simple reason: it shines during Rift Guardian fights. Once you bring your target below 30% health, your damage skyrockets with an additional 40%, ensuring the mortal blow will be dealt well ahead of the timer. Nerves of Steel is the cheat death passive available to Barbarians. On the usual for such passives 60-second cooldown, it will offer you a second chance to overcome whatever inflicted the fatal damage. It offers a sizable 95% damage reduction bonus on top as well, allowing you a 3-second window to reposition away from danger. That about covers it for the build. Now let us go over the items. This build takes the combined power of the Wrath of the Waste set and the Immortal King set, together with a Ring of Royal Grandeur to complete the 6-piece and 4-piece bonuses respectively. The Immortal King weapon and belt are taken as mandatory, since they do not conflict with the waste pieces. The third item you implement can be any of the other available Immortal King pieces. In the demonstration, we've taken the chest. Wrath of the Waste set is guaranteed to occupy your shoulder slot, along with 4 more slots of your choosing: helm, chest, pants, boots, or gloves. Rolls-wise, this Whrilwind-centric build takes good advantage of the Whirlwind skill bonuses on helm and boots, as they affect the free Dust Devils provided by the Waste set as well. Pure toughness rolls are preferred on the Waste chest, pants, shoulders, and the Immortal King belt. As expected, double crit stats are taken on the Waste gloves, alongside strength and vitality. As a final note, high damage range, good strength and Call of the Ancients percentage, and increased attack speed are the desired stats on the Immortal King weapon. Naturally, to complete your set bonus, you will have to use the Ring of Royal Grandeur. Obtained through Act 1 cash rewards, it will reduce the number of items needed for set bonuses by 1. Look for a Grandeur ring with either a natural socket or a crit stat, so you can reroll into whichever of those 2 stats you're missing. Your second recommended ring is a socketed Unity, for the unparalleled damage reduction when paired with another on the follower plus an immortality item. A noteworthy but far more glass cannon is the option to take Convention of Elements as your second ring instead. A change like that necessitates that you switch your Whirlwind to Wind Shear and your Call of the Ancients to Together as one. To complete the jewelry, aim for as perfect of an elemental amulet as you can. The ideal rolls are crit chance, crit damage, an open socket, and physical damage. The better of an amulet you get with these stats, the lesser the concern when charging into the fray. For example, immunity amulets such as the Zephyrian or the Star of Askaranth will allow you to ignore the 2 deadliest affixes for the Whirlwind Barb, Electrified and Fire Chains respectively. Alternatively, a good Hellfire amulet with one of the aforementioned passives can open up more build options to you. Finally, a general recommendation for the bracers are the resource regenerating Reaper's Wraps. While you can emphasize on their utility by picking Swords to Plowshares on Battle Rage, you will find them useful in a regular Bloodshed setup as well. While this guide will not delve into the specifics of breakpoint chasing, other notable options for the slot are the Lacuni Prowlers, and their more common, but missing one primary stat alternative, Steady Strikers. The increased attack speed provided by those bracers will bump up the Whirlwind tick rate up a breakpoint, and result in more overall damage, but you'll have to be more careful with your Fury management. Your 3 jewelry sockets will be taken up by the legendary gems Bane of the Trapped, Pain Enhancer, and Taeguk. Bane of the Trapped is a potent source of additional damage, as it is its own multiplier in your total damage calculation. The gem procs itself with its level 25 property, and can be kept up longer with the Rend rune Mutilate, making it an inseparable part of melee builds like this one. The Pain Enhancer synergizes with the crit boosts from both Battle Rage and Wrath of the Berserker, adding nicely to your damage. Note that the level 25 property increases your attack speed by 3% for each bleeding enemy in a 20-yard radius, directly benefiting the attack speed dependent Whirlwind. Taeguk is the best hybrid of defense and offense among the legendary gem options, and continued Whirlwinding channeling will ensure that your stacks remain capped. While it comes naturally to the build, it bears repeating. Never stop Whirlwinding, as dropping the Taeguk stacks and building them up from scratch is a significant loss of DPS and toughness. In the paragon points, max out movement speed and then strength in the core section. Dabbling into maximum fury is up to personal preference. Fuel up both crit stats and then attack speed in the offense section. Resist all, life percentage and then armor in defense, and area damage, resource cost reduction and then life on hit in utility. And this is it for the Whrilwind Immortal King Barbarian build. I hope you enjoyed the guide, and if you did, I would appreciate your subscription to my channel. See me live at twitch.tv/thedeadset, talk to me on Twitter and Facebook that I linked below, and I'll see you guys next time.